All right. So I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to get into this conversation because I think that it is imperative that we talk about this. We are in another year. It is 2023. These years are going by fast. These months are going by fast. And I think this conversation is one that we have, but we don't really have it. And I think after seeing the response of the Beyonce concert, she broke the net the other day on the 1st of February to start off Black History Month about going on tour and everyone talking about how expensive the tickets are and what they're doing to get the tickets. And, Beyonce is in everybody's bag, even though she has told us to quit our jobs. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not part of the beehive. I don't want anyone to come for me. But I wanted to, this kind of triggered this conversation about how we are so willing to invest in other people who rightfully so have worked hard. She has worked very hard. We've seen her grind and not taken away from that. But like, what are we doing to invest in ourselves, right? Like, what are you doing to invest in your brand? Even if you don't have a brand, but just like your personal development, I think like that's imperative that we all take inventory of year after year, month after month, even week after week, day by day. Okay. If we want to break it down. And so this topic is invest in your brand and build your future. And so I just want to talk about the importance of doing that and how to reach your overall business and even personal goals. Let's get into investing in your brand through marketing to ensure long term success. So, a strong brand and a marketing strategy can help you, as we know, stand out in the market and attract and retain customers and increase your credibility, right? So, let's go ahead and just start with branding. Branding is just more than your logo. We know that, and your website. Your branding is your entire identity as a business or even a personal brand, right? So we know it encompasses your values, your mission, and what sets you apart from your competitors or even your colleagues, right? So by investing in your branding, you're communicating to your target audience that what you stand for and why they should choose you. So that's basic. Like we know, right, how to do that. And if you don't, I'm going to give you some tips. So to build a strong brand, you want to consider the following. First, like I said, you want to define your brand's values and mission. Okay. So even if, like I said, if this is your personal brand, like who are you? What do you stand for? What are some of the things that you like? Like what makes you unique? Same thing with your business. What is your value? What's your mission? Okay. So that's number one. Number two, you want to create a unique identity with a consistent color palette, font, and logo. So, of course, this is going to apply for all the business owners. So, when you think about your branding, you want to make sure that you're consistent because when people see you over time, they will say, okay, that's a recognizable brand. That's a recognizable thing that's attached to that company, right? We understand that. So you just want to be consistent along the lines if we're talking about visual identity and branding. Number three, you want to develop a strong voice, brand voice that represents your values and resonates with your target audience. So, this is very important, right? Because for me and just for any brand, it's like, how does your audience take in information? How do you, and what is the tone of that? The tone of your voice when you are speaking to your audience. Like for me, I'm not, the branding bar isn't super corporate. I like to call my audience, y'all my cousins, of course, but I'm going to be very professional, but I am down to earth. So I give it to you like that, right? So what is your tone of voice? All right. So let's get into marketing. Okay. So marketing is pretty much about getting your brand out there in front of the right people and convincing them to take action, right? So this can be through paid advertising, content marketing, email marketing, and more. And when this is done correctly, you can help reach your target audience. And then that way that helps build trust and ultimately drive sales, which this is the part, as an agency owner, and people come to me, they are ready to go to that drive sales part. But we have to kind of wind it back before we even get into the marketing and going back to those 3 points. what are you standing for, right? But once you figure out all of those things, we can package it and put it in a digestible, format for your audience. If you're doing any of these marketing activities, as mentioned, the paid advertising, the content marketing, the email marketing, shoot, even text message marketing, um, whatever avenue you're doing it in, we can package it in a way once you understand what those things are. So, some other tips to help you have successful marketing, right, is you want to identify your target audience. You probably hear that all the time. Like, okay, I don't even know who my target audience is, girl. Like, what do you mean by that? And so your target audience, you have to think about like, who is this person that I am marketing to? And this, once again, can go from a business or personal brand. Like, who would be interested in what problem I can solve for them, right? What do they like to do? How much money do they make? Where do they live? What do they look like? What do they dress like, right? Like, what are some organizations or communities they might be a part of? Even shoot, what type of movies do they like, right? So that is putting together your target audience. And if you don't know what that looks like, I'll give you a little homework to kind of draw up a fake person and put that person together. And that is going to be your profile of who you need to reach out to. Okay. So once you identify your target audience, you have to figure out what motivates them to take action. Okay. What is going to be the motivation? That goes again to what are you solving? Like, what problem are you solving? Are you solving a problem? Is the problem they need to solve it ASAP? Maybe you're a clothing brand, but like, is it something urgent, right? Like right now, it's about to be Valentine's Day. Okay. So I have on my to-do list, this week it didn't happen, but okay, I have some saved cute outfits for a date. Like, but it's not immediate. But like, why would someone want to buy from you? Is there a special occasion coming up? So like think about all of those things. Okay. And so then number two, you want to develop a content strategy that resonates with that target audience and showcases your brand's value proposition. So we're going back to the marketing piece, okay? This is what type of content are we putting together? Everything, I say you got your cold. There's three levels to this, right? You got your people that are super cold, that don't know nothing about you, but you have to show how you can solve that problem or show what that value proposition, right? And then you have to show customer success, right? Get some reviews, right? And then you want to sell to them and give them your offer, right? So there's also within that marketing, this wasn't even on my list, but I feel like I need to break it down because I feel like everyone wants to get to the content of the selling, but you have to understand that some people are not ready to take out their card with you yet. You have to develop that trust, right? So once you have those 3, but I kept it pretty simple. Once you have those 3 pieces of content, the showing how you add value, how you're solving a problem, to showing success on how their life will change after they have purchased from you, and then that sales piece. So then you can utilize to my point number 3, which is paid advertising to drive a larger audience and conversions. And one way to do that, we know Instagram, Facebook ads. And I'm not talking about just going on your post and boosting a post, like actually going into the business manager on your Facebook account and creating a campaign specifically for anyone. And they have it broken down. And that could be another topic we talk about one day, where anyone who's ever interacted with your social media pages that know of you, right? You can kind of lead them down that 3 content funnel that I discussed, and you're not necessarily chasing after new people all the time. So that's a whole nother conversation. But number 3, you want to utilize paid advertising to reach a larger audience and to retarget people that may have already been interested in your product or service. And then number 4, this is my last point. You want to utilize email marketing to build relationships with your target audience and keep them engaged. Although, social media is great. We love these platforms, but let me tell you, we do not want to rely on social media, Instagram. And we've seen that so many times. I've seen that so many times, and I'm thankful that I have built an email list of people that have engaged with me over the years because even with the algorithm, shadow bans, and all of the things, you want to have your own database and build that relationship with your audience through email. Even though, email, you're like, for me, I didn't do email marketing for a long time. I'm going to keep it 100, but I always knew the value. And with me reincorporating that back into my business, I can definitely tell you that there is money in the email marketing. Okay. All right. In conclusion, to wrap all of this up, investing in your brand, in your marketing efforts overall is just key to building a successful business and building those relationships. So to bring it back, to spending your money on your concert tickets, don't let that hold you back. Think about how you can invest in yourself and your business today. Okay, because these months are going by fast. We didn't came into the shortest month of the year. Um, to me, January flew by. It's all perspective, but we know, like for me, I look at okay, the first 3, 4 months of the year is when I really plant the seeds for the rest of the year. And so you don't want to let this time go by and you not take advantage and do things, even if they're simple things day by day. Think of what those 3 pieces of content are. Come up with your avatar of who your target audience, who that person looks like, right? So doing these things over time, building up will ultimately pay off and you will be like, wow, I'm so glad I did that. So, in conclusion, investing in your brand through branding and marketing efforts is key to building a successful business. Don't let other distractions this year hold you back. Now is the time to invest in yourself and see your business soar. Thank you so much for listening again to On Brand with Brittany B. I hope this information was valuable to you. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more tips on building a successful business and leave a comment and let me know your thoughts on how you invest in your brand. Check me out on social media platforms at The Branding Bar. And until next time.